Hi guys, welcome to Teacher Mabid. Teacher turned homeschool mom to two little girls. Currently we homeschool our first grader and preschooler, and yeah, so I just kind of wanted to, this is in response to a lot of the questions I've gotten about our curriculum videos, and I wanted to kind of clarify, put into perspective how we do all the books that we do. So I've gotten a lot of questions about our curriculum, and people have asked me, how do I fit everything into our day? And the answer is I don't. So I just wanted to kind of clarify and go over our routine, our system. So and how I loop everything. So I loop. All right, guys. So what that means is that you don't do all the subjects in one day. And what you do is that you do a couple of core subjects and then you have a loop system. And what that means is that every day you will do one subject at a time, and you never fall behind, and you never feel like you haven't touched all of them. Let me talk about our rhythm of the day, our routine kind of. Not every day looks the same. We have a lot of co-op days, and I'll talk about that later. And so what we do in the morning when my girls are up and they get ready and they're having breakfast is the time when I do their morning basket. It'll kind of like be breakfast time and then kind of move into because I kind of try to catch their attention at that time, and then right after breakfast we'll still be doing our morning basket. And morning basket doesn't last very long, but it does. It's the beginning of our day, so it kind of has a lot of the important elements that I want to cover during the day. And I'm kind of I have a paper with me here, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So in our daily section, so in my morning basket, I have our Islamic studies, and I have our read alouds. And basically, it's like most of the stuff that I need to read aloud in the day that happens at that time. So I try to get them when they're eating and stuff. And so it becomes like an activity for them rather than, trying to get them to sit still while I read to them. So we have our Islamic studies. We usually do our build your library curriculum at that time. We also I do this book called Give Your Child the World book. And if you are not sure what books I'm talking about, go ahead and check out our curriculums, and that's going to be it's going to be in there. I listed it by subject, but this is all put together. And then we do our read aloud, and then I do a loop. So in our loop, I have math, science, history, nature study, and geography. And these are not core subjects per se, but these are just additional either supplementary stuff or more stuff that I feel would be good for that week or kind of adds to our curriculum. It's very open-ended, very optional. We usually do it because the girls like doing it, and it's not a chore. It's not something that that becomes like if we're having a tough day, or we're having a difficult time getting through our morning basket, we will stop the loop. And in case you guys don't know what a loop is, Pam Barnhill, I think, came up with this idea of looping stuff, and I did a lot of research in the beginning of our school year to kind of figure out how I wanted to do all these stuff, because I didn't want to bring something, I don't have the time to bring something new in every week and schedule that into our morning basket. Sometimes it's a spontaneous thing, and that's fine, but I wanted there to be these supplementary things that we did over the course of the year or beyond. I do not intend on finishing any of these over the course of this year. I will most likely continue them next year because a lot of them have a lot of meat in them, and sometimes we get into discussions and we talk about these things. These are just ideas that that are kind of brought to the table, and we have discussions about them. I'm kind of going to go over some of them. So for math, we'll do verbal math book. We'll do the Life of Fred. And if sometimes I feel like we're at a certain place in our math and I kind of don't want to go forward, so like for example, like I was teaching my daughter, I don't know what it was, subtraction or something, and we were almost done with our addition stuff, and I kind of didn't want to introduce subtraction, so I stopped that at the verbal math place, and we stopped there, and I wanted it to complement with her lessons I don't know if that makes sense. But and then we have science. We do the Sassafras science books. So that's a great way to just read aloud and have the kids just listen and absorb in a lot of the information that's provided. I think we're doing the zoology ones. And then we do history, we do story of the world. I pick and choose what I want to do with that. And I complement it with the Usborne Encyclopedia of the World, a world history book, because the girls like to look at something while I'm reading to them, especially history, because that's a little tough for kids. I've noticed, like, it's difficult for them to visualize what that means or what that looks like. So the Usborne Encyclopedia really helps give them a visual. And then we do nature study. Sometimes nature study is spontaneous, and it happens with what they want to do or what the weather's like or what they've discovered or what they found. But on average, I try to stick with exploring nature with children and the nature anatomy books. What we do with that, we keep it simple. We don't make it complicated. We might talk about it. We might talk about the element that we're talking about in nature, and then we may do a painting with it or an art or learn something new about it. And then the last one that we do is the geography, which is beginning geography. We just kind of just gently talk about the map, and we read we do the Passport to Adventures curriculum, it's with the Magic Treehouse books. So we read a little bit of the Magic Treehouse books, and my girls love that series. And I'm hoping soon my older one will be able to read it on her own, so that'll be pretty great. But that's kind of our morning basket. What I also do is we have co-op groups, and with my co-op group we will try to do the Build Your Library curriculum. That way it's kind of it's like a set thing, it's a set time, and it's also something that I do not need to tackle with during the day, but like it has its own time and place where we do that, and that's been a really fun experience for all of us. And yeah, and so we do our morning basket, and then after our morning basket we usually have classes that we go to. Like my daughter's taking urban farming, and she's taking a robotics class. And so we go to that, we do those, and then then we'll come back home, and it'll still be like early afternoon, and we do we'll do our main lesson time at that time, where she does her handwriting. She will do her first language lessons. So basically I put together first language lessons all about spelling, and I don't remember what the other book is, but we like basically her language arts. I kind of put it together. I read it over while she's doing her handwriting. I'll kind of read it over and try to pull it all together into one lesson. It's like one short burst lesson, and she kind of does that with me, so it makes more sense. It's a little more cohesive, and we're not going over like multiple books. Basically the books and the curriculums are used for me to help me explain things to her in a cohesive manner. I don't use our curriculums as a it's like you gotta go by the book kind of thing. I use them mostly to help me emphasize things or teach things in a certain manner that I hadn't thought about. And most of these writers and authors of these books are these experienced, amazing people, and I love to build on other people's experience and do that. So we do that, and then in the afternoon we'll also do our reading aloud time, where she reads aloud to me. And then we do our little bit of math. We'll do our Math Mammoth book, and we'll do a game or some kind of an activity based on math. And then that's it. That's pretty much it. And so that covers like our main things. Then we do stories. We do a lot of stories throughout the day. And then we'll do our Waldorf kind of story, and that's when my preschoolers involved too, and she kind of like, we sit through that and we do a craft with it or an art project with it, or drawing. And then at bedtime sometimes, or after, we'll do our lavender blue schoolhouse books. or a lavender blue curriculum, which is basically reading, like me telling them a story and then letting that sit, and then the next day we will do something else with that story. We will kind of do something that complements it, and or a drawing and stuff with that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but right now, yeah. So that's kind of our morning basket and our afternoon time. And the evening, usually I try to leave the evenings alone, because starting from, like, my daughter does like Quran classes in the evenings, and after that I just kind of let her be and let her play and do her thing. And so it feels like it's a lot packed into a day, but every day is different, and some days we don't. Like, I think we have classes like 2 days a week, and then after that the rest of the days we don't. And we still have our Fridays off, which we do like crafts and arts and stuff with. So that's kind of our rhythm, and I don't know if it makes too much sense, but that's how it is, and it's worked for us so far. So that's my explanation on our giant curriculum this year. This is my first year putting it all together by myself. So I do think that I picked a lot of things to do, but at the same time, I'm not putting a timeline on it. So when I don't put a timeline on it, like I don't say, Sassafras Science, we gotta finish this year. You guys can see it in the background there. You know, like, it's a thick book. And I'm like, I'm not gonna force myself to go through that whole book, you know, in 1 year. Yeah, I can do it however long I take, you know. And most of these subjects are, you know, subjects that are taught throughout elementary, middle school. So it's a learning process. It's a, you know, a growing process. We can come back to it if we need to again, you know. So that's it. So that's how our system works. That's how it's made sense to us so far, and it's worked so far. And I can't wait to update you guys at the end of the year to let you know how we still feel about it, or if still it was a good system, or not something we need to modify for next year. So yeah, that's it, guys. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'm so sorry if I'm late in responding. It's just that sometimes life kind of takes over, and I have, like, you guys have seen in my other videos that I'm trying to cut down on social media time and stuff, and it's been challenging trying to balance all of that. But if you do have questions, leave them down in the comments. I will try my best to get to them in a timely manner. And that's it. I'll see you guys next week. If you like the video, hit the like button, and please do subscribe and share. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.